Hello, hello. Um, so, are you guys ready to know who the winner are? Before we do that, we have as per usual, we have a few speeches and a few mentions that we want to do. Um, but so far, I think my best moment is that it has been a very smooth NorthSec overall, and I thank everybody for that, all the volunteers and the participants as well that made it really smooth. So that makes me less stressful, or like less stressed. I can't speak anymore, and that's pretty much it. So, so I hope you had some fun. It's been a very, very big NorthSec. A lot of flags, a lot of challenges, a lot of rooms. Very like a new thing for us. I think if overall it's been a very positive experience for me, at least. So I hope that you enjoyed it being upstairs or downstairs. We try to have like a no small room, just big rooms essentially. But we will take any feedback that you have. We will send a survey in the next upcoming days for that. For the CTF, we'll probably have a few questions about the like the rooms and everything, and if you felt like things were too hidden or something. But it's life is a CTF, so it's okay. So first, I would like to invite Riot from CyberSci that will come and talk about CyberSci.
All right, hello everybody. So, more specifically, I want to get the attention of the students in this room as well as the future leaders in cybersecurity. So, my name is Raid Fayad, and I am a challenge creator at CyberSci. Many of you may know our event from previous years, but if you're not aware, allow me to introduce you to CyberSci. So, CyberSci is a platform where your skills are not only recognized, but they are celebrated on a regional, national, and even international stage. It's a series of thrilling CTF challenges that allow you to capture your best skills, demonstrate your skills to your employers, and as such, here's how it works. So each year starts off with our CTFs that are held across 6 Canadian regions, grabbing over 300 students from over 30 schools. The regional events consist of hacking in the morning, interviews in the afternoon, interviews in the afternoon and offers by supper for your internships or your co-ops. So the winners from each region then, along with some exceptional representatives from the Indigenous, women's, and junior teams, then go along to participate in our Canadian Nationals event held every June in Ottawa. But it doesn't end there. So from the nationals, the top performers are handpicked to form Cyber Team Canada. Picture yourself competing against the finest minds from over 35 countries across Europe and beyond. We are the team in red right over there. What makes CyberSci so irresistible? Well, for starters, it is the ultimate showcase of cyber talent from the top Canadian schools, where students get to shine and represent their skills, which is something that our sponsors absolutely love. Not to mention the amazing prizes awaiting our winners. Who wouldn't want to jet off to represent Canada on the international stage? Maybe Prague, maybe Vienna, maybe even Athens. So to get involved, contact your school's computer science professors or your cyber clubs at your schools, or reach out to us directly on our website. The QR code is right here. To all the students out here, whether you're a seasoned veteran or you're just dipping your toes in the world of cybersecurity, CyberSci is your launchpad to success. Join us, compete with the best, and let your cyber journey begin. Thank you, everyone.
This is actually amazing, and thanks, Riot. You're very much well prepared compared to me for this presentation. But yeah, this is amazing actually. So just by show of hands, how many students are in the room right now? This this is great. All right. So as we do, we usually have a few honorable or not so honorable mentions all around. This year, I decided to instead of stacking them up, I'm gonna like spread them so that we make sure that it's fun all around. So I'll go with one right now, which is a shout out to actually everyone. So or support ticket. We on our support ticket system, we received about 60 tickets, which is about 15% of all of our tickets that we receive, just for the geo-hacking trivia. All asking the same question. What is the format or whatever? I just want to tell you, every single admin that tried it did it in 2 clicks. Okay, you just copy paste from Google Map and you have the right format. That's just, come on. So yeah, so that's gonna be that for now. And then next we have Stefan from the infra team that will talk about how we do this beautiful magic at NorthSec.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, so the usual, sorry, the usual infra closing speech. That's a bit small. Let me just. All right. So, who's the infra team? Well, we're kind of the usual four, except we're not this time around. Two of them decided to go to Europe for some reason. Apparently work related or something. So it was a bit different this year. It still worked out really well. But yeah, so that's the main year-long infrastructure team. We've got myself and Simon tend to do most of the infrastructure, networking, config, all that kind of stuff, and then David and Julien tend to help around challenge reset and actually running the CTF for you. So if you've had any kind of challenges breaking and stuff, that's probably one of us. We all met and worked together for years. We've actually all been doing, well, this kind of stuff for somewhere near 14 years now, which you might realize is more than NorthSec. That's because we actually did the 2 hackers in Sherbrooke before that too. So yeah, infrastructure has been our thing for a while. Now, what do we actually do? So year-long, we run our main infrastructure. So that's all that stuff. That includes running our websites, running everything for the CTF for this year, but also running all the stuff from previous years. If we need to go and fish out any challenge or anything, we can do that pretty easily. And we also run the Ring Zero CTF infrastructure these days. So it's hosted on our platform, and we manage that. We also do manage all of the NorthSec staff access and tooling and things, which you may think, and actually a bunch of the staff probably still thinks that, pretty easy. Like, we're not that many. We're like, 15, 20 people or something. No, we're 90 people. So it's a lot of people, and everyone's volunteers. We don't really have a lot of time. So there's a lot of automation and a lot of things that goes into running something of this size. Other things we do, well, we do all of the setup. That can include some fair amount of climbing and stuff. So running all of the fibers across the entire building, also running, like installing all of the redundant PoE switches in all the rooms, and installing all of the APs. So this year we had like 36 individual Wi-Fi access points. The reason for that is that we need about maximum of 4 teams per Wi-Fi, otherwise it doesn't really work for a CTF. So that's a lot of them. And then day to day during the event, we monitor the Wi-Fi, we tweak kind of the signal, well, signal levels, we tweak channels, we do that kind of stuff to try and keep everything working pretty well. And from what we've seen in our stats at least, things seem to have worked pretty well this year. All right. During the CTF itself, what we do is we actually clone the infrastructure. Yeah, so basically, some people know that, some people don't. Every single challenge that you were attacking, every single team had their own copy of that. It's impossible for you to actually take down something for someone else. If you're trying to do it, all you're doing is taking it down for your own team, which is kind of pointless. And some people definitely do that, but so we do copy everything. So that means we start by cloning that infrastructure, usually around Tuesday, Wednesday-ish during NorthSec. And then during the CTF, we test and monitor everything. We restart everything that's broken, and we debug more complex issues. Effectively the last line of support on that side. All right. Technology stack. So in the, yeah, you might see that script. So usually David is kind of restarter in chief, is kind of the one who just looks at the dashboard, looks at what's showed as being offline, and as a first thing, like just bans the challenge and hope it works. So this year he wasn't here, So we wrote a Python script that does that. Uh, just looks at our monitoring, knows what to restart, and just does it. And that's the manual mode. We actually have an auto mode, which we run like all weekend long. That just like would bounce everything every 2 minutes if anything goes down. That worked well enough. All right. So technology stack on the data center side, we're running 6 servers, dual 32-core epics. So we've got 128 threads per server, 1 terabyte of RAM, so for a total of 6 terabytes of memory across the whole thing. And we run like an in-cast cluster on top of that. Sorry. So we run an in-cast cluster on top of that gives us virtualization and ability of running containers. We use Ceph for distributed storage, Oven for distributed networking, and I'm my own ISP, which is also the ISP used for here. And we need to do BGP peering and stuff through FRR for that. On-site, we've got a few more things with the actual equipment vendors. So all of our switches this year are Microtech. We moved away from Cisco. And all of the Wi-Fi is Ubiquiti Unify. And so effectively, we've got 10 gig internet here. Sorry. Sorry about that. So we've got 10 gig going to the internet, to the data center, to the internet. We've got 20 gig going in each room. We've got 80 gig going to the main router, so it's kind of difficult to saturate anything around here. 36 APs, as I mentioned, mostly Unify 6 Pros these days. Routing is all done on Ubuntu. We do run a small in-cast deployment on-site to run a few services we need to do things like managing those screens and things you've seen. And we use FRR again for the routing to data center. Now, a few stats. This year, 84 teams were provisioned, which is a bit more than what you've seen on-site. We had 82 actual teams participating, 83 if we include the one we use for testing for the admins, and then a spare one, effectively. Each team had 40 containers, which is a total of 3,360 running across the whole thing. They also each had 9 virtual machines for a total of 756. 35 gigs of RAM per team for a total of 2.9 terabytes of memory being consumed and used. And we had 126 challenges being monitored per team for a total of 10,584 tests. So yeah, and we were running all those tests every minute. And then on the Wi-Fi side, 826 of you connected at once, and that was our peak. On the internet side, somehow you didn't really use it that much. So we're looking at 1.3 gigabits and sustained over a 1 minute period as being the biggest use. It was probably more like 3 or 4 gigabit over a shorter period doing that, but yeah, not very impressive. Peak connected on the VPN, we had 563 of you, which means that a fair few didn't connect somehow, because we had more than 600 people actually having credentials. But at least this year, and I think that's the first in like 3 or 4 years in a row, all teams actually connected. So, you know. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's a very, high bar to reach, but apparently it is, total 44.6 million DNS requests handled, so fair amount of that. Luckily, around 60% was handled through caching, so they didn't need to go on the internet, so that was pretty good. Yeah, so what went wrong? That, every year. Not that much this year, as it turns out. The biggest thing we had was 2 servers just completely refusing to boot a week before NorthSec, which out of 6 is a bit of a problem. Luckily, going physically in data center and messing with their firmware, flash, and everything, we managed to get them back online. But it was interesting. And otherwise, we had a kernel crash affecting one team that we just had to restart. But that took like 5-10 minutes, and we were back online. So, by NorthSec standard, very good year. Very few things actually blew up. Now, all right, so let's look at that, huh? All right, so first of all, this. So Team 30, Cyber Spies, decided to somehow shut down their shell on Friday night. But after that, they also never actually asked us to fix it. So we didn't. No idea why, but yeah. And then we had Team 35, les acteurs de la menace, who decided to submit the exact same flag 8 times in a row. Don't you guys talk to each other? Ah, all right. Other than that, team with the highest success rate at a pretty darn good 97% was Team 34, which is also named Team 34. Then the one with the lowest success rate, that would be Adept Informatique with 23%. Not really sure why you're applauding that, but all right. Team with the highest duplicate, that's once again les acteurs de la menace, with a total of 26 flags they submitted, which they already had. All right. So that's it on my side. The usual links if you want to go look at any of the tools and things that we're using. And see you next year.
Merci beaucoup, Stéphane. I always like to see those stats. It's always amazing to see what we're able to do at NorthSec. It's an amazing competition, not just because the challenges are amazing, but because we have crazy infrastructure behind it. Speaking of Team 34, I also have a dishonorable mention, or this one is an actual honorable mention. Last year we had an ATM track. I don't know if you remember, it was amazing. There was a jackpotting track. It was a big moment, and everybody was screaming and blah, blah, blah. So this year there was actually something hidden, and nobody found it except for Team 34, which is essentially also named Team 34. Thank you for stealing my thunder on this one, Stéphane. But what I mean is there was something hidden. There was some cues in this course. Actually, the water cooler next to the bar was emitting some Morse code when you used it, so you could actually find a flag with it. So they essentially found out when they were actually trying to drink water. I think that we need to check because maybe people didn't drink as much water as we wanted, but whatever. So they're the only one that found it, so congrats to them. Yeah. Now next up, so we have Lambert, which will be coming and talking on stage and talking about those beautiful badges that we have.
Hello. So, well, hopefully everybody had lots of fun. So, yeah, let's. Oh, it looks like my changes didn't make it. Well, anyway, so this year we have produced about 1,500 badges, and we got a bit more defect than last year. We are looking at like 0.93% manufacturing defect. So everybody's curious, who made the longest working chain? Like, so there's a debate right now between 14 and 16 badges. Some people said, oh yeah, I made 27, but it didn't work. Well, I don't care about that. Like, I want successful chains. As you notice, as we progress across the conference and the CTF, like the badges started not working very well in big chains. So we suspect that like, if in a big chain, like 2 of the badges know each other already, that's where the bugs happen. So yeah, we'll investigate it. This is just an hypothesis for now. The source code and all the PCB layout and schematic will be published on GitHub. And speaking of GitHub, I'm merely just a person who speaks on stage, but behind the badge, there's like a huge team of like hardware designers, firmware, like challenge designers. Like we are like, there's a lot of people involved in that. So like, big round of applause for like all the designers. win. So let's talk about the CTF that just ended. There was a total of 16 available flags, and we're looking at like a 23.4% success rate, which is good because NorthSec is known for low success rate. That's fine. In total, one interesting fact is that there is blood compatibility part 1 that was never solved. It was. One, sorry, update. There is one team that made it. So, so yeah, that was extracted like I think an hour and a half or 2 hours ago. So yeah. Anyway, so congrats to all the teams that they're successful with the CTF hardware track. And on that note, thank you very much for playing with our badge, and I'll see you next year.
Yep. So we're gonna we have to take the laptop down so we can go back to the yep. That's perfect. Thank you very much. So so yeah, that was the badge. It's amazing to see that we year after year we have like badges and tracks and different things to do with it, which I found amazing. So next up, or should we do a fun fact? Yeah, let's. I think. Oh no, I'm gonna hold this for after. So so next up. We have Eric Boivin, which will be coming and talking about the theme.
Hello, everybody. So last year, when I sat down with Simon and Emile to think about what should be this year's theme, I had two constraints. First one, it must be something I have never done before. So that means everything that I've covered, because this is my 6th year in NorthSec. And if we're only doing cyberpunk stuff, this is boring. So I wanted to be something very original and challenging for me. The second one, request was we want something memeable. So something that will be funny, that people will remember afterwards. And I suggested the idea. Yeah, yes, I'm not wearing cool shoes, but I'm also not wearing a cool outfit, but it's really good. I mean, nurses, I understand why they wear scrubs. It's comfortable. So anyway, so we thought, what about using the human body as a source of systems? Because we're all made of systems. And that was something interesting. What about a metaphor that every one of our system was something that we could interact with? Now, I thought, okay, how do we explain that? If it's just, oh yeah, because the initial idea was you are white cells. You are inside the body and you're defended. But that was boring. And now this is where I learned about a show that didn't exist when I was a kid, Magic School Bus. So, and I learned that going inside a body was a thing. And I remember when I was a kid, there was also a TV show, which in French is named Il était une fois la vie. It was, yeah. So we thought, what about doing this? A summer camp trip of pen testers going inside the body of their customer. And your customer can be very happy about what you did. You fix a lot of systems in Mr. Wellington's body. But the one question I asked myself is, why someone would do that? So I don't know if you understood what was going on, what were the motivations, but the main story element in my story this year is that Mr. Wellington wanted to have a child. He wanted to have a child of a second union. That person is getting old. He feels that his body is maybe lacking, and he wanted to improve his body for his future child. So there were a lot of mentions about that. It was pretty hidden, but that was the motivation of Mr. Wellington. And it created so many fascinating stories. The systems that you were working to improve. And also, we had Brian. I don't know if you got that, but if you inverse the A and the I, this is brain. So Brian was the brain, who was pretty much not cool with the idea of having foreigners in the body, but eventually he got it. And also, we had this amazing blue team track this year where you had the chance to interact physically with Brian, something that is very difficult to do in a CTF otherwise. So, thank you to all the challenge designers that accepted this crazy story. When I told that to people, how do we do that? How will we make it happen? Well, we made it happen thanks to all the volunteers, the organizing committee that came into and embarked in this stupid idea of a summer camp where we we end up inside a human body. So, like I said, this was my 6th year. Next year will be my 7th year. I should be back. Hopefully, we're lucky and we have something as cool next year as what we had this year. And one last thing. Oh yeah, I see this background. The scenario is one thing for the CTF, but NorthSec also use the team for everything. And choosing a logo about the human body is something very difficult. We had help for an artist to build that and it was hard because we didn't want to have a cyborg. We didn't want to show the perfect body. We wanted to show the body as it is. But also the question about gender, that was very hard also. So this is why we went with this idea of showing both the male and the female in the same image. So I hope that you appreciate all these efforts. Every time you see something linked to the team, you can think, we thought about it. It's very conscious. There's nothing in NorthSec that is left to chance. So the team is everywhere, and I hope that you enjoy what we've done, and see you next year. Thank you.
Sorry about that. There was a little bit of a confusion. Yeah, the team was amazing this year. It was a bit special. I had to kind of like listen for it for the first time when Eric told me, and I was like, I'm really not sure about this one. But and it ended up panning out pretty well, so I'm very happy. And then speaking about the blue track and about Brian, there was a fun fact about that track. About like half of the teams that really delved into that blue team track, they tried, essentially they did the defensive blue team track, and they used the exploit of the attackers to get access to their own machines instead of using their defensive tools. And they thought they locked themselves out, but after they removed the exploit. So shout out to you guys. When we do a defensive track, the goal is to use the defensive tools. It's not all just attack and red teaming. Yay. Anyway, so if you like this track, well, we might bring it back in the future. I think it was fairly new for us to do this, and it was very, very nice. So next up, we have a word from our sponsor, Okiok. So I invite on stage Eric for a little chat.
Right? Well, that was nice speeches. Mine was written in like 10 minutes after the NSEC. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Okiok is very proud to sponsor NSEC. It holds a place in my heart. I've been competing every year for the last 12 years, and I did the 2 hackas before that. So, yeah, every year. We're a cybersecurity-focused company. We're based here in Quebec. We have a strong focus on penetration testing. There's lots of us here in the room. Oh, sorry. So penetration testing, we do DFIR. Can't remember. We also do governance and other things. Every year we bring a team. Everyone is super excited to come. This year, though, our results were a bit lower. 2 of our team members couldn't make it. One of them had a daughter, so that was okay. He had a good excuse. The other one, though, he booked a vacation last minute during NorthSec. He said he forgot. It will be noted. Yeah, so I'm really happy to see all of you. Great community. I think a world-class event like NorthSec. This is what brings us all together, and it helps raise the profile of cybersecurity in Quebec. I want to give a big round of applause for the organization. And I want to mention just one last thing before I go. So this year was very special because it's the year that the feet theme was born.
Thank you, Eric. So hopefully having this meme didn't ton sel. So I'm happy to hear that because I was scared about the sponsorship with this meme. So it's good to know that we didn't break. So yeah, I see your faces. We're gonna try to wrap this up. There's still a few things to do, and then I have my last big shout out. I wanted to keep it for this one because we're gonna talk about logistics. So this is like a big shout out to Presicom. So yesterday at just before 3 a.m., someone decided to do a firmware update on their laptop, which made us unable to close the room. I don't know if they're here. Hello, please don't next time. But it's okay. Olivier still made it to bed before 4, and no, not before 4. But he's still here today, so it's okay. All right. So next up, I said we were gonna talk a bit about logistics. So I will invite Eric Lebel, which is our VP Logistics, to come on stage. Martin, I'm sorry about that.
Merci, Émile. Je vais faire ça vite. Vous n'avez pas idée la quantité d'ampoules que j'ai en dessous des pieds en ce moment. Donc, moi, je ne serai pas team feet. Ça va juste être des remerciements. Je vais faire ça vite. Premièrement, je veux remercier toute l'équipe bar qui vous a servi durant les 2 jours de conférence et les 2 jours de CTF. On parle de Mathilde, David et Marc qui ont fait un travail incroyable. Ils ont trouvé des bénévoles aussi pour occuper le bar. On vous a servi de l'ouverture à la fermeture. Donc, un gros merci à l'équipe bar. Vous le savez, on est tous bénévoles, moi y compris. Alors, je voudrais remercier l'équipe AV, Jérôme, PH, Marc-Antoine, Éric et Michael qui ont opéré le mur vidéo, le son, les lumières, le recording, le stream, tout ça pendant tout l'événement. Donc, merci à l'équipe AV. Du côté logistique, on a Alexandre, qui est mon adjoint, qui a fait une super job depuis presque 2 semaines. On commence à préparer NorthSec sérieusement. On a le marché Bon Secours le dimanche pendant 8 jours. Donc, on est ici, nous autres, depuis le dimanche passé. Donc, merci à Alex et à Maxime qui se sont super gros impliqués. Maxime, qui est notre VP Finance, en fait, mais qui est là à toutes les rencontres qu'on fait, qui est là à l'entrepôt pour venir charger le camion, qui est là au marché pour installer du mobilier, des chaises, des tables. Donc, merci Alex et Maxime. Et il y a un bénévole en particulier que je veux remercier, qui est là depuis 2 ans, qui est tout le temps super serviable, puis que j'apprécie beaucoup sa présence. Donc, il est assis dans le fond, c'est Nick. Donc, un même applaudissement pour Nick. C'est un peu tôt pour dire ça. Émile, il va le rementionner quand ça va être le speech de fermeture, mais on va prendre 2 photos avant de quitter. Une photo de groupe, donc tous ceux qui veulent participer à la photo de groupe, on va s'installer devant le stage. Et ensuite de ça, je fais un rappel pour la photo des bénévoles, donc tous ceux qui se sont impliqués durant l'événement. On va rester aussi pour faire une photo, donc juste pas oublier ça. On aimerait ça vous avoir sur notre photo. Donc, je rends le micro à Émile. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Martin. And sorry about the Eric. It's just I had like two Erics to introduce one after each other, and then my brain farted because it's been like a lot of time. So, but merci beaucoup, Martin. And then last but not least, a word from our dear President Olivier Bilodeau.
Merci. Okay, merci. Thank you, Emile. All right, so obviously, I had to do this. I was gonna say, like, the theme was nice, but what I didn't expect, and it was mentioned before, but it's just how comfortable this stuff is. Like, oh my God, I know what I'm gonna be wearing for Halloween, and maybe more. Maybe you'll see me at work with wearing this. So NorthSec is a lot of work, okay, for everyone. And I just want you to get a grasp of the scale of it, okay? So I'm going to talk about myself because I've been tracking, like, the days I worked on NorthSec or not. So I have stats, but imagine that times 125 people, okay? Since 2024, I worked on NorthSec every day except 6 days. There's only 6 days where I didn't do a single NorthSec related task. This is crazy, and this eventually drains you out. This eventually, like, we need fresh blood. We need new people coming in to rotate, because we can't survive this kind of work year after year. We're delivering bigger and better editions year after years, which at some point I'm like, we can't top this off. This includes last year. I was like, we cannot be better than last year. And this year we did. We fucking did, Martin. And all of you. It's crazy. This is possible because of all the volunteers, okay? Again, and I know we did it, but everyone, like, I want the loudest applause to everyone, including the bar team, the AV team, logistics, CTF, conference, training, everyone. Let's go! This has been an extremely difficult year, okay? Because of the finances of NorthSec. We wanted to break even. I'm being super transparent. I don't give a shit. Sponsors were not there. Trainings were hard to sell. They were there, obviously, Okiok. We had a good sustaining sponsors, which we want to maintain that relationship and improve it. We want to bring them value, and I think there is value here, but it's easy for the big companies to say, oh no, not this year. NorthSec is about recruiting, or, it's community money. Well, sorry for them, you're fucking lost. Oh, this is stream, I forgot. But so this puts an immense amount of pressure on everyone. And like, we cannot feed volunteers. It's an intolerable situation. So, like, I just want to say that we are going to have to make choices to make this event sustainable, okay? We cannot expect next year to be better. The indicators for us aren't there. So, expect NorthSec next year to be different, and we'll have to make choices. And I want you to help us make the choices, okay? So, when we're closing, mention to volunteers and fill in the survey saying what is for you important and what is for you not important, so that we make the right decisions, okay? But what I can tell you right now is that we're gonna increase prices because most of the tickets are paid by companies, okay? And the ones that are not paid by companies are student tickets, and the student tickets, we're going to adjust our ratio so that the price stays the same. All right? So we're going to do this. It's not gonna be. NorthSec needs to be sustainable. This event is too significant for the cyber community, for the wealth of Montreal, and for our ecosystem. So this is what it's gonna do. Also, we are selling T-shirts. We're not making a lot of money on it, but we're still selling T-shirts. So if you didn't get a T-shirt, the extra T-shirt that were not claimed, we are selling them right now. It's on shop.nsec.io. You can go and buy right now, and you will grab your ticket leaving this room. So I mean, this is a 20 bucks that you can do to make a difference, so that NorthSec can pay the food of its volunteers. And oh, my phone logged shut down. Sorry about that. I hate when that happens. So yeah, I guess I fucked up my joke. I was gonna say, look at me, I'm a salesman now, selling sponsorships, tickets, and T-shirts. What are they saying? Feet? Oh, only feet. Yeah. All right. I got it. I'm sorry, I'm slow. No, so last thing. So you're all waiting to know who's gonna win, obviously. So there's two things left. We're gonna recycle badges. So if you're not interested, or if you think your badge is gonna just catch up dust, please leave us your badge. We're gonna do something. We have a project for them for next year, and we think this is part of being a more sustainable event. So if you love the bling bling, but after that it just collects dust, make sure you drop them to the proper locations. We have boxes identified, and also we're gonna give books. We have a bunch of books that we're gonna give. So we're gonna do podium stuff. Then we're gonna name team numbers, and these team numbers are gonna come and grab books. So that's how it's gonna end. And yeah, it was improvised. I mean, podium is the most important thing. Then we're just gonna yell a couple of numbers. You guys go out. We take some pictures all together. This is how it goes. So, Emile, are you ready for the podium?
Thank you, Ali. And thank you for missing all of my plans, but it's okay. Uh, anyway, so I'm gonna explain a little bit how it's gonna happen, just so that, because once we start announcing winners, it gets messy. Everybody runs around. So the way we're gonna go about this is I'm gonna go and announce all the third, second, and first places. When I announce your team, you come on stage and then you take the picture with the coins, which we have right here. You take the picture with the coin. If you want in front of the logo, I know it's bright, but it takes some beautiful pictures. And then you go back to your places. Once we're done with all of this, I guess we're gonna do the number shouting game for the books. And then once it's done, I would kindly ask everybody to start piling up the chairs. The chairs, as you can see, have two colors. It's either blue or black. Please do not mix the two colors in stacks, and then make stacks of 8 chairs. Then you can move them. Otherwise, we're never gonna fit everybody for the picture in front. It's never gonna work. So start like moving the chairs around after, please, not now. Otherwise, it's gonna be even messier. So that we're gonna start doing that all together. And as Martin mentioned, and everybody, we'll do a massive group picture with everybody that wants to be part of it right in front here. And then once the picture is done, you're free to go. But then the volunteers themselves. Oh no, my boss is screaming at me.
I forgot something really important. I'm sorry. Thank you, Maxim, for remembering. No, I'm sorry. You'll realize. I forgot to say. Okay, so this is the first time we're doing this ever. We are selling the tickets for 2025 right now. So we set up the shop earlier today. You can buy NorthSec 25 tickets for the lowest price guaranteed. Okay? From here, it only is gonna increase. We use this year's price as a benchmark. So we advise to email your corporate advisor or your student association or take out your credit card and buy tickets. It's gonna be the lowest price, guaranteed. And we only have a limited amount available. So sorry, I forgot in my speech there.
E4 Gore. So yeah, thank you, Olivier. So this is happening as well, I guess. So yeah, okay. So like I said, a bit about the logistics. I'm gonna just reiterate really quickly. We stack the chairs. We don't mix the colors. We move them aside. We take the massive group pictures, and then the volunteers, please stay around because we want a massive volunteers picture as well. And then we're gonna be over with this. So yeah. So let's go. Are you ready to know who's the winner now? All right. So in third place, coming all the way from France, we have Freaks 2600 with 195 points. Come on stage. Thank you again. So now, this is the exciting part, or like it's all exciting, but now we have this awkward situation again. We actually have a tie. So we decided to do Pokemon or Big Data. Oh, they're not happy. Oh, they are not happy. So jokes aside, last time that we did the sudden death, we decided that we would never do that again because it was kind of messy and stressful and really not a good time for. It was a good show, but not a good time. So both teams finished with 197 points. So that's just 2 points ahead of the third place. Crazy. And there's only 3 minutes apart from each other. So we went with the time. So the earlier you went with the points, essentially means that you won the thing. So it's only 3 minutes submission, which was very, very, very intense. We were pretty much, it was a nerve-wracking time with the scoreboard and everything. We saw the teams going in front of each other and everything for like a good, like all day today. And we're like, oh shit, how do we deal with this again? Anyway, so in second place, with 197 points, submitted their last flag at 2:42 p.m. Cold Root. And now, in first place with 197 points, submitting their last flag at 239, we have Ubarakin. Sorry, I was just telling them to use the stairs because they're not wearing shoes. But congratulations again to all the winners this year. It was the biggest on-site CTF that we've ever organized, which is crazy. We get to expand every year, and it's always nice to see that we're able to pack all these beautiful people in the Marché Bon Secours and in a single room for some like it's crazy like to see everybody in front. Gives me kind of some sort of anxiety, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, so is this officially over? Like I said earlier, you can start packing the chairs. Thank you, and see you at NorthSec 2025. Also, for the winning teams, please come back to us. We have other prizes for you, not just coins.
Non, non, les